cozy, 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 cozy. Okay, we are back to continue this cozy conversation rendition for this month. We are going to be talking with Burl, post-show, post-Brothers Green, post-net. I got some leaky fluid coming out of my ears, and it was phenomenal. Every bit of y'all's performance was great. I'm going to go kind of round circle here, introduce everyone, make sure we get a name to the face, to the instrument. And right here on my good side, we got Mr. Jordan Vargas, vocals, guitar, main man himself, Mr. Front. We got Devin Wall right here with bass instrumentations. Cam Duncan, guitar, Anna Littlejohn. We've got some keys and vocals from her skill sets. Don Data here with the drums, Mr. Percussion here. And then Jacob Lee. He plays the saxophone, and samples. You do a lot of the samples stuff. So.
I do all the samples. He's about
gonna be. Okay.
He's about to, his role's about to
Expand. All right. So, guys, y'all and gal, and sorry. Yep. Should have clarified. 6-piece ambient experimental smooth pop rock. That's kind of something that I came up for. I've seen some of y'all shows live now, I think 3 or so, and what y'all do with the recording and the live stuff, it's such a unique ambiance. And so whoever wants to jump in and interject and kind of explain where you guys bridge the gap of that ambiance and the saxophone and the samples and just blending, because there's 6 of you, so that's a lot of moving parts. So
start with that guy. He's the brain.
I really do not know how to classify what we are as a band or a genre. People always ask me what genre we are, and I don't know. Originally, the concept was to be a country band. We're going to be a country alt-rock band, and it just morphed into its own thing, and now it's more of a jazz rock band, I guess. But yeah, it's always changing. We get heavy sometimes, and sometimes we're kind of softer and mellow, and it evolves constantly. And I like that. I don't ever want to play the same thing every time. I don't want to sound the same. I don't want every song to sound the same. So yeah.
cool. Thanks, Jordan.
Yeah, if I could hop in on that.
Go for it, Cam.
Yeah, so whenever anyone's asked me kind of to describe Burl, our genre, it's a difficult question, but I always find myself saying psychedelic soft rock because I feel like a lot of influences come from that, and it's kind of an interesting genre in and of itself because a lot of our influences, like Todd Rundgren, 10cc, all those kinds of guys, but kind of taking a different bend on it, because there was some great music that was happening in the 70s, but in the 80s and 90s, with the rise of alternative, I think we kind of put our own spin on that, and it's not something you would necessarily hear us perform and think, oh yeah, it sounds like Todd Rundgren, 10cc, but those influences are definitely kicking around out there.
Thanks for your answer, Cam. Anna, you had something you want to add to that, or direct? Yeah, traffic controlling. Gotcha. I appreciate that. Yeah, go for it, bud.
I'm not that involved in the songwriting process, but I remember when we were recording, me and Jordan were recording the saxophone for the album, and he was explaining to me what he was imagining for the song that we were recording. And that was whenever I feel like it finally clicked for me, what we were trying to make, because he was saying on this track, I'm imagining a yacht rock, on the boat, a beautiful, we're just chilling and jamming to the music and what the saxophone needed to do for that. And then on another song, it was I'm imagining a city pop situation with a really catchy riff with the saxophone and stuff like that. And I think that for me and how I've connected with the music that we play is is like each song has like a moment captured and a vibe that we're trying to like capture in that song, and that's when it really clicked for me, and that's how I associate all of them in my mind, where it's like a moment in time, a memory, or something that hasn't even happened yet, maybe something that you're looking forward to, and every song is like unique in that aspect, takes me somewhere different.
It's a good fucking year.
I'm over here like, yeah. Not that anyone else's was not phenomenal, so I appreciate the thorough, thought-out responses, y'all. So with 6 folks being involved in this process, and again, it's kind of like whack-a-mole, so whoever wants it, you know. Who met or knew each other first? Not like who formed the band, but like who...
So, me and Jordan, we grew up in the country. He lived in Slaughterville. I lived in Noble. Yeah, we met. Yeah, 20 years of friendship, and me and Jordan started making kind of 2-man electronic music, and we just kind of, you know, our ideas needed more people over time. And, you know, there was only so much we could do. We were multitasking hard. Like, when it was just me and him, I would run from sampler to drum set to bass to... We were running around like crazy. And then, over time, you just meet great people that have amazing skill sets, and you just, like, meet people at different shows. And then, yeah, we played a show with Cam, and I was just like, we're going to take that guy. And... And then Jacob used to come to Burl shows, and I was just like, this guy is just an amazing presence, and I'm going to just have him in the band because no matter what his skill set is, he's just cool to be around. And then he just ended up being talented as fuck. Yeah. And then we saw Anna like playing on the internet and stuff. We saw videos during COVID times, and we're just like, let's just go to any show we can to get Anna. And Dawn, for a long time, we've just watched every project he's been in, and we're just like, we're going to scoop that guy up eventually because he's amazing too. And so me and Jordan have just kind of grown up together and formed, we just, built it up from the ground up. Yeah. So, yeah.
Don, you want to add anything to that, man? That's why I wanted to make you feel included. You know, I just
We've wanted for a long time.
yeah, but he's the glue. He's the glue. Second.
Oh shit, it is your second show. It feels like longer.
I don't know how many shows where we're just like, we've seen Don play, and we're just like, we can just do that.
He's brilliant. I mean,
He is.
Yeah. All right, guys. This next one is like really hard hitting, so you're gonna have to pay attention, and it's it's emotional, but it's an important one. And again, this is participation on everyone, so it's required. I'm sorry. Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes. My answer is pancakes. I just think waffles are too crispy. I don't need those little pockets to hold the syrup. It gets uneven. You can't evenly distribute the way you need to. Butter? How does butter work with waffles? All right, that's unacceptable.
Let me hop in on this.
it honestly depends on who makes them. I mean, I've had excellent waffles. I've had amazing pancakes. But honestly, I'm more of a pancake guy if they're cooked correctly, but they're fucked up most of the time.
All right, here you go.
This is our foodie here.
All right, so it's pancakes Monday through Saturday, waffles on Sunday with chicken with real maple syrup from Vermont and real butter from Kerrygold and a solid glass of water, if not champagne.
Beautiful. I'm partial. I grew up every Saturday. We'd have Lee cakes, so it's gonna be pancakes for me all the way.
So growing up, we used to go to this diner, and one of the regulars there who would always talk to us put me on to this technique for eating pancakes, where you like saw out the middle of the pancakes, like the whole stack, with your knife, and then you pour in the syrup so it goes through all of them. And it changed my life, and after that, I can't say Waffles in good conscience. Pancakes all the way.
So both for me, because if you're at home, you wake up, you make a little coffee, you go out to your Blackstone grill, because I'm an old guy. You've mixed up the batter. You just throw that shit down. You're making pancakes at that point. You make some cakes. But in my younger years, and what I still really appreciate, is waffles done right. If they're thin, they're crispy. I'm all about the crunch. So you go to Waffle House. You get the All-Star breakfast. You've already put on All-Star. You've got queued it up on the jukebox. And that thing comes out, and you ask for crispy hash browns, crispy bacon, and crispy waffles with a little chocolate chip. The waffles slap. If they're... Honestly, if you almost burn the Eggos on the toaster, you get them crunchy. That's the thing. I think we can all agree we're for the crunch.
If they're soggy, what's the point?
But if somebody fucks up a waffle, you just want a pancake. So if you spice it up, if you get that Bisquick box and you're like, there's the second recipe where it's like, add a little vanilla extract, and you really make them fluffy. You whip in some egg, you cook them just right at home. It's great. But honestly, a crispy breakfast, that will make you'll grow into a full, complete person if you have crispy hash brown, crispy bacon, crispy waffle. Yeah.
The trifecta.
I'm a firm believer of the crisp hash browns. It's got to be, yeah. So it's all about the crisp. Yeah, soggy anything is.
Let's not hate on soggy. It has its place in society.
But not with hash browns. Not with the
Okay, you're right.
Soggy sheets.
I'm just
Well, guys, I have here in my hand y'all's tape. Well, this just came out relatively recently.
About 6 months ago.
Yeah, yep. Within the calendar year. Random question, because green's my favorite color. And I was, whoever wants, well, I guess I think I got my answer. I was going to ask, like, the green cassette tape. Who was that?
That was me, for sure.
You want to talk more about it?
About the green is my favorite color. It has been since I was a child. This time of year, actually, we've had a lot of rain. I see a lot of green everywhere, and makes me feel good. What else is there to say about green? I mean, yeah, it reminds me of life. I mean, it feels really exciting. I don't know.
I'd never heard anyone talk about green in such a beautiful way. And now when I think of green, I'm going to think of Burl. So I got one last question for you guys, and then I'll let you disperse, and I'll give you your attendance points for the day. Again, whack-a-mole style, whoever wants to chirp in. I want to know the biggest challenge that was faced for recording well. I know that obviously involving more than 4 people, that's probably a lot of moving parts. But whoever has some commentary on a challenge that I think helped made you grow as musicians or friends, or maybe a track that you're just trying to get a sound on, there was some just all-encompassing sounds on that album. So
Jordan does a lot of the songwriting, and we all kind of add our flavor to it, I guess you would say. But I guess it was kind of a complicated process for us because we do a lot of it ourselves. We don't have a lot of resources, I guess. Me and Cam actually took a trip to Nashville during COVID
Yeah.
and bought a tape player, and we're just like, hey, Jordan, we need this vibe on this. And
And we actually met the guy who sold us the tape player right behind Sun's Studios.
Yeah.
So, like, there's that connection there. It was an
And,
interesting trip.
so, yeah, a lot of it, I guess the biggest challenge was just like a lot of it being just done by us, and then Jordan just having to mastermind a lot of it and figuring it out in his back bedroom. A lot of people can just walk into a studio and somebody does it, and that's cool if you have that. But it's a struggle if you don't have that. So you're doing man hours at that point.
Yeah.
And so I guess a lot of the song process and getting it done would be over to Jordan there.
Jordan?
I mean, it was a real challenge just to get everyone in the room in the right time, just to get people there and to schedule things. And then on top of that, just like moving along, like to find a key player or to find a drummer and to find people who could play these parts that I had for these songs written. And then on top of that, we got to move into the next phase, which is mixing, make sure everything is, choreographed perfectly. And I didn't want to release something that was mediocre. I didn't want to release something that was like half of what my idea wanted to be. And honestly, I think Well turned out exactly in the vein of like what I wanted it to be. So yeah, I think it all worked out. It took a lot of time and it took a lot of effort and a lot of money. And those things are hard to come by, resources, especially time. Like time for everyone. We all don't have the ability to just set aside time to just record. And I mean, I can be the biggest, and sometimes I feel like an asshole here, but like I will make people do 50 takes in a setting. And I just want to try things multiple ways. And I know, like Jacob was talking about this earlier, but I'll just start giving them ideas of like mindset, like where I want you to put yourself. And eventually you will click and you'll get the idea of like where I want you to be, what I want this track to actually become. And when it does become that, and when everyone gets on the same page, I think it really is something special.
I appreciate your answer, Jordan. Anyone else want to lend?
No. I just wanted to say, what is it? I don't even know what I wanted to say. Yeah, I had a martini tonight.
He's been
I had
hyping
one.
up the martini.
I did. I had a martini.
What'd you think?
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna say. I want to try. Why am I talking about martinis now? Okay. I wanted. What is it called? I wanted to try a dirty martini. Okay, because I like olives. There was 3 olives in the martini. I was told that a plastic glass is not the best way to drink it.
It's not.
It gets it warm. It ruins the whole thing. What about the songwriting? Yeah. Thank you. I wanted to talk about that. God, completely threw me off.
Jacob had to glue things together, so you have probably the longest process.
Yeah. Man, really? Yeah, thank you. It's, the 50 takes. Yeah.
Honestly, I'm the harshest on myself.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say I admire. What I was gonna say was that I really admire the vision that Jordan had for all of the songs that were on the album, and the fact that like being able to translate what's in your head into a track that you're recording is extremely difficult. And I know what it feels like to like hear it. You're literally hearing it in your mind how you want it to sound, and to translate that onto like a recording in a DAW or on a tape or in any instrument in the entire world is a talent, and it's extremely difficult because you can literally have the exact vision for what you want, but being able to produce it is is a very good talent to have, and I'm very proud to have worked on this project.
Hey, we're going to our house to play the pool. I'll text you the address.
Well, I appreciate the opening up and like kind of pulling the curtain back behind Burl and what happens in studio and how it happened in Slaughterville and Noble. And I actually used to live in Noble and Purcell a little bit, so so it's really cool to see how you guys are connected to one another, and your camaraderie and friendship and love for the passionate side of music and stuff. So please keep blessing us with Burl, live shows, recorded content, and all that good stuff. I thank y'all again for doing this interview. So, yeah, awesome. Well, thank you. Well, to Burl.
To Burl.